Why would you say something like that?
Because
when you don't even know me at all.
It's because
you don't love this country. People on the left don't love this country because if you did, you wouldn't be subjecting us to this. You wouldn't be subjecting us.
Stop over-talking me. I'm fed up of men over-talking me. I've had enough of that.
Well, I'm fed up of your rudeness on this television show. Throughout all evening, I've been polite and kind, and you have made these accusations based on nothing. You don't know me at all, and to say that I don't love this country is an insult.
Hey everyone, welcome back to Julian Discourse. In this explosive GB news clash, watch conservative commentator Matt Goodwin deliver a blistering reality check on soft-touch justice and the breakdown of basic civility. When a smug Labour peer tries to dismiss his entirely justified anger, Matt unleashes a furious defense of the British working class. Hit subscribe and let's watch their narrative collapse in real time.
Videos filmed in Sutton Coldfield in Birmingham, around the corner from where I spent a lot of my childhood with my grandparents in Castle Bromwich. And, you know, like many people's parents and grandparents in this country, they were part of that generation that really did take care of their neighbourhood. They took care of their gardens. They were very proud people, And what I see when I watch that video is really a symbol of the collapse of civility in our country, collapse of standards of decency, young people that have no respect for their local community, no respect for the places that people gather. If it was up to me, all of those kids would now be thrown into community service, forced to clean up not just that flower bed, but every flower bed in their neighbourhood, wearing a high visibility jacket. So it was pretty obvious to everybody in that neighbourhood, who they were and what they'd done. We need to fix this problem. And it's obviously multifaceted. There's a collapse of parenting, there's absent fathers, all the rest of it. But there's also just this generation that have absolutely no respect for standards and for who we are. I think we do need to start thinking about bringing back national service. I think we do need to start thinking about bringing back community service and making sure that kids like that are not just roaming the streets, taking drugs and drinking and doing all of this stuff. Because our civilization, our society, there was an opinion poll recently that found nearly 2/3 of Brits, nearly 2/3 of people in this country now think that the social contract in this country is broken, and I would bet that the vast majority of Brits are convinced this country is heading in the wrong direction. And it's exactly because of scenes like that, scenes like the small boats, scenes like people sitting around not contributing to this country, scenes of shoplifters going in and just taking what they want and never being punished. I'm absolutely sick of it. And watching what is happening to this country that we all love, that our ancestors built, and we're forced to look at scenes like that every day on social media, and nothing ever happens to these people. Nothing happens to the illegal migrants. Nothing happens to the shoplifters. Nothing happens to these gangs of kids who are bringing out machetes like that's acceptable, or destroying their local communities. And I'm absolutely sick of it. We need politicians in this country to stand up and get...
I'm not sure he does love our country, but never mind. Look, I mean, I think...
Why would you say something like that?
Because you
don't even know me at all, why would you say something like that?
Because every time I hear you, your negativity and your... something... I'm not...
Does that not bother you?
What bothers me is your angry and... no, let me finish. You've just gone on a long time. Your lack of any feeling of love or anything for this country. You say you really love it, but actually you talk it down at every moment. Now, look, on the issue...
I'm not going to let you just say that without me having a response.
Well,
it is precisely because I love this country that, like millions of people in Britain, I'm so exasperated with what is happening to it. You cannot point at people like the left always do and say, you don't really love this country because you're angry about what's happening. You don't love this country. People on the left don't love this country because if you did, you wouldn't be subjecting us to this. You wouldn't be subjecting us.
Stop over-talking me. I'm fed up of men over-talking me. I've had enough of that.
Well, I'm fed up of your rudeness on this television show. Throughout all evening, I've been polite and kind, and you have made these accusations based on nothing. You don't know me at all, and to say that I don't love this country is an insult.
But let's get back on track. I'm listening to what you're saying, and it is an angry, just need to call that out.
I'll come on to that group that you just mentioned, by the way, that Bashback, because many people won't know what we're talking about there. I remember a time where people used to, and I'm showing my age now, used to clean your step outside. Do you remember? If you had a front door step, you would literally see women, it was women, let's be honest, on their hands and knees cleaning their outside steps. Such was the pride that they had, for example, in their own homes, that everything was to be spick and span and all the rest of it. Pride in oneself, pride in one's home, pride in one's community. It has been lost, and I would actually say, Diane, the anger that you hear from someone like Matt, and it will be echoed, by the way, many people at home watching it will share that anger. It doesn't come from a hatred of one's country. It doesn't come from an anger and a negativity. It comes from an absolute sheer sense of despair, distress, desperation, an absolute loss of knowing what to do to get this country onto what feels like the right path, having lost so much of what was once good about this country. It's not a hatred of one's nation. It's a desperation for it to be better.
And I feel that despair. I'm often at the the receiving end of some of these stuff as well. So I absolutely understand that despair. But I do think that all of us have a responsibility for calling it out, which is why, the neighbours not doing anything and stuff like that is important, because we can't accept even low-level violence, it seems to me, or low-level threats because they grow.
Well,
what you just witnessed on GB News is the ultimate establishment defense mechanism, when Matt Goodwin pointed out the undeniable, visible decay of British communities, from unpunished shoplifting to the brazen destruction of public property. The Labour peer didn't offer a single practical solution. Instead, she attacked his tone. She accused him of not loving his country simply because he is angry that his country is falling apart. This is exactly how the political elite gaslights the working class. To understand why Goodwin is absolutely right to be furious, you have to look at the disastrous policies that created this environment. Since the 2014 Antisocial Behaviour, Crime and Policing Act effectively downgraded the policing of low-level theft under $200, the UK has been gripped by a staggering crime epidemic. By 2024 and 2025, the British Retail Consortium was reporting record-breaking losses, with feral youths and organised gangs looting local businesses with zero fear of consequence. This is the real-world result of ignoring the broken windows theory, a proven criminological principle from 1982, which states that if you allow minor vandalism and antisocial behavior to go unpunished, it creates an atmosphere of lawlessness that inevitably breeds violent crime. Yet, when conservatives suggest restoring discipline, such as the May 2024 proposals for mandatory national or community service, the political class mocks the idea as draconian. Notice the Labour peer's immediate pivot. When confronted with everyday crime ruining working-class neighbourhoods, she immediately changed the subject to complain about online threats against politicians. The establishment is utterly obsessed with their own safety in Westminster, but they demand you quietly tolerate machete gangs and vandalism on your local high street. They demand your taxes, but they despise your desire for law and order. Thank you for watching Julian Discourse. If you refuse to let the political elite gaslight you into accepting the managed decline of your country, hit that subscribe button, leave a like.